Mr. Nanda Kumar, there are about 200 million farmers in the country,
Yeah.
out of which about 20% of them belong to, are members of dairy cooperatives.
Dairy cooperatives, yes.
That would mean about 40 million people,
Yeah,
farmers and their families,
that's right, including families.
who are associated with dairy cooperatives.
Dairy, yes.
And these cooperatives are spread across the country. You have them in most of the states?
Almost all the states. Almost all the states.
Of course, we are very familiar with Amul and Mother Dairy and so on, but I think every state has its own cooperative.
Every state has a three-tier system.
There's a brand specific to the state, right?
There is a specific brand to the state. Nandini in Karnataka,
Nandini in
Avin
Karnataka.
in Tamil Nadu,
Avin, I see.
Saras in Rajasthan,
Saras.
Varka in Punjab,
Varka.
Sanchi in Madhya Pradesh.
Oh, I see.
Orissa calls it Home-Fed. So
Home-Fed.
it doesn't really have a brand name. Sudha in Bihar.
Sudha.
Medha in Jharkhand.
Oh.
Like that it goes on.
What is it
Only
in
Maharashtra has regional, district level brands.
Oh, there are district level brands also.
Yeah. But the structure in all states is a primary cooperative society where the farmers are members and a district level union and a federation. The state federation generally controls the marketing and the brand.
Yeah.
But Maharashtra is different for some reason.
Okay.
It's got local brands.
What would be the Kerala brand?
Milma.
Milma, I see. Of course, in the course of our travels, we do come across these brands, when we go to buy groceries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Also, when we go to a store to pick up, say, some varieties of milk, like say badam milk in Karnataka, which would be in Nandini, I suppose, and such varieties and different versions of that in different states, which would be, I think, specific to the state, its ecology, agriculture, products and so on.
No, the product is
Products are
basically
more or
addressed
less
at the
the same.
consumer. Like Bangalore consumer may prefer a badam milk.
Badam milk,
Punjab consumer may prefer a lassi.
Oh, acha, okay.
So
it
we
goes
have
that
to
way.
make that in that context.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we are doing now is, a lot of people who are health conscious are moving away from aerated soft drinks.
Yeah.
So we are trying to capture that market by introducing either a milk flavored thing or a yogurt flavored drink.
So the yogurt flavored thing is quite popular.
It's very popular.
It's growing.
A lot of chach, as they call it in Hindi, is
Correct.
available. Buttermilk in Kerala or in Tamil Nadu.
I see that in the northern parts, for example, in the last 8-10 years, there's quite a spiral in the consumption of tender coconut water, which was not there earlier.
Yes.
But now I think from the southern states, there's a lot of this stuff coming into the northern states, again for the same reason that you mentioned. So these are interesting developments, but a couple of things about dairy cooperatives. This is something unique and extraordinary, isn't it, for India? These cooperatives, the way they were set
in
up.
the whole world, there are cooperatives. I mean, let me be clear, there are Land of Lakes in US, Fonterra in New Zealand, there are cooperatives. But there is not a single country in which so many small farmers are associated. When I say 16 million farmer families are the owners of the various milk brands that I mentioned, I think people in the world refuse to believe it. And many of them are not there right up to the retail. They collect milk, then they sell it to some big company. So they don't get the full value. Now, what that really means is the percentage of value that you transfer to the farmer. Now, we have a benchmark that every consumer rupee, 75 paise minimum should go to the farmer. Many of them do 80, 83, 85 also, depending on
75% of the
consumer rupee.
Consumer rupee goes to the farmer.
Yes.
This is truly amazing, isn't it?
But that's the whole basis on which it works. If it doesn't happen that way, then I don't think we have great relevance in the rural India.
Also, 99% of the profits made by dairy cooperatives are shared
because
by
the profits are always given back to the farmers.
It goes back to the, they are the stakeholders.
What is retained is some risk capital or some
administrative costs,
modernization.
administration costs and stuff like that. So, can cooperatives diversify beyond dairy products to boost farm incomes?
One of the challenges in Indian agriculture today, and having been agriculture secretary, I can say this with a little more confidence and knowledge, is their ability to market produce. It's okay if rice and wheat you have minimum support price program, FCI and various agencies take care of it. So we have had food security. Now you will find that vegetables, pulses, we are still not reached where we should be. And given the level of undernutrition in this country, we must have more fruits, vegetables and pulses available to our poorer people. Now all this requires a major transformation in the market. The Prime Minister spoke about a unified Indian market. But who are the players who will bring that value? I think we have to now get into pulses and vegetables. So in a very small way, Mother Dairy is getting in there. We are trying to get into pulses and vegetables through producer companies. Of course, we have a vegetable brand called Safal, which is only in Delhi. This model needs to be replicated. It's not easy, but we are not going to give it up. We are going to try.
Okay, so the major thrust of this campaign, as I understand it, is that today farmers are in distress.
Yeah.
And if you want to help the farmer, then buy products of dairy cooperatives, like Amul or Nandini or Mother Dairy and so on. That's right?
Yeah. The reason is this, that whenever there is a distress in the farm, there is always an expectation that government will do everything for them. I think you and I as consumers, if you make a small shift in choice, that you buy something where you are sure that 75% of the money is going to a farmer, I am sure all of us will happily do it as a consumer. And this will ease the burden of the government to a large extent and would make our farmers a little more comfortable in their own environment.
I think the thrust of this campaign is really noble because, as you said, we need to inform consumers that with this little tweaking of your purchase decisions, the extent to which you can help the farming community. And also, I think they need to understand the strength of dairy cooperatives in India, which is truly phenomenal. And they have all worked very well over the years and helped the farming community in a very big way. And the most important thing, as we discussed, is that the transfer of much of the profits back to the farmer with little or nothing going to middlemen, isn't it?
There are no middlemen.
There are no middlemen. So that is the big and important aspect of dairy cooperatives and why we should patronize dairy cooperatives.
Yeah. Now we are also conscious that the consumer will demand quality. And we can definitely say all the cooperatives, we have 4 levels of checking for every single packet of milk that goes through. So it's extremely important that we give you as a consumer something that you are sure of. And to us, when you buy 1 packet of milk, it is 1 meal for a farmer.
And that's amazing. It's also said that your glass of milk can be a farmer's meal, which is truly extraordinary, which consumers need to understand, especially in the context of the distress in the farming community in India today. And the other thing is to say that you need the farmer every day, they need you today. Because today there is a bit of a crisis in the farming community, and that is why the consumers need to step in. And I think this kind of awareness is going to really help matters. And also that your choice of dairy products can make a difference to a farmer's life.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because if you really look at dairy products coming in, they come largely from rain-fed, water-stressed areas. The largest marketeer of milk is the state of Gujarat, which is not known for heavy rainfall. The other is Rajasthan. Then it is Marathwada and Vidarbha and areas like that. So for a farmer who is living in a rain-fed, stressed condition, dairying is the best income. And I think all of us, if we buy from a cooperative brand, at the other end is a farmer whose probably life is becoming a little better.
And also that, dairying is the fallback. It is that safety net for a farming family. And people in urban India need to understand that. And that is why the support for dairy cooperatives of farmers will help strengthen that safety net.
Absolutely. And I think now that you have taken this great initiative of DD Kisan, I think this is a good medium to communicate with the farmers and also tell the urban consumer how the choice can make a difference to farming.
Yes, in DD Kisan also we propose to take up a lot of programs which will popularize not just dairying and quality in that area, but also to educate people on the advantages of it from an economic point of view and also in terms of the larger well-being of the farming community. The other very important point is that as a consumer of dairy cooperative products over the years, I would like to say that the products are top class in terms of quality. anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
They come under different brands, but they are all farmers' dairy cooperatives.
Yes.
And they have an excellent range of products. In fact, from sweets to, as you said, lassi and so many other milk products like badam milk and lassi and
We do a lot of Indian sweets now.
yeah. In Karnataka, in fact, the Nandini Paisa I have found to be very popular among people.
You know, that also has a reason. The reason is you will hear a lot of complaints about adulteration
Yeah.
during festival season. We have asked our cooperatives to use pasteurized milk and make those sweets so that they are pure. Of course, you can have a different flavor or it's much more of a uniform flavor, but our USP is the safety of the product that we sell.
Okay. And finally, we need to tell every consumer that 75% of every rupee that you spend will go back to the farmers.
Yes.
So please promote farmers cooperatives and farmers dairy cooperatives and their products.
Yeah.
The other thing is, please remember that every glass of milk that you consume and which you buy from a farmers cooperative is going to be a meal for a farmer today.
Absolutely.
So on that note, thank you very much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Nanda Kumar. It's wonderful meeting you and to know so much about farmers cooperatives and the dairy movement in India.
And thank you for the support because you are the largest medium and I think your support is very valuable for the Indian farmer.
जरा सोचिए, आपका एक ग्लास दूध किसी किसान का एक समय का भोजन बन सकता है.